Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Riding in Cars with Books. I'm Jaclyn.
And I'm Phillip.
And today we're going to be discussing Shakti by SJ Sindu and Nabi H. It's kind of got a glare, sorry. But this is a middle grade graphic novel about Shakti, that's the name of our main character. She and her two moms just moved to a new town in Massachusetts, and one of her moms is pregnant, so they're about to welcome a baby brother into the family, and she hopes this is finally the last place they're going to move. And she's starting a new school, obviously.
Ta-da!
So the goal is to make new friends and fit in. So
She's moved around a lot.
yeah, she's moved around a lot. She makes friends with
Zai.
Oh my gosh, I just talked about this.
Zai. It's Zai.
Zai? She makes friends with Zai pretty quickly, thankfully, and they bond over their love of manga.
Yes.
And Zai makes her try mayo on pizza. Have you ever tried that?
No.
It sounds so gross to me.
I tried lots of things on pizza. I am not a huge mayonnaise fan to begin with.
I know people do ranch, but mayo, ugh.
I guess ranch is kind of a mayonnaise.
I guess it's flavored mayonnaise.
I guess.
Is ranch just flavored mayonnaise?
Oh no. But they did. They put mayonnaise on pizza.
She tried it and she liked it. So, anyways, if you're wondering, the glare is terrible.
Well, it's kind of got. Well, the book cover is really shiny.
It's shiny.
It is a very shiny book cover.
And
so.
it's sunshiny. Okay, so Shakti is born of. She has ancestral magic, and her mom hasn't taught her about it yet because she doesn't think she's old enough. She's only 12. But
that's not really why she hadn't taught her.
That's not really what happened. When she was a kid, they kind of let her play with it, and she burned the house down. So there's
and they
that.
moved.
That's one of the reasons why they had to move. But in this new town, something doesn't feel right. She thinks like these mean girls, definitely mean girls, have like this whole school.
It's a crossover book.
Yeah, he likes to interrupt.
I do. I interrupt a lot.
They have the whole town, the whole school in particular, like under a spell is what it feels like. Like the teachers don't call on anybody else. They get away with everything. So they're just being mean girls.
And they get credit for everything.
They do. And we find out what's going on. And Shakti has to use her magic to stop them. And her mom's going into labor and she has to protect her little brother.
Yep. Sometimes
I don't want to give away too much.
Sometimes
I feel like I'm saying too much.
Sometimes magic goes well. Sometimes it doesn't go so well.
Yeah, I mean, the opening scene is literally like in the middle of the fight scene, and then you go back 2 months. So, like, things are going to go wrong before you even know what's going on.
Right.
But my favorite part about this book was the little intermissions or interludes, whatever you want to call them, where the author goes into the mythology of the Hindu magic and the lore, all that stuff.
Right, because that's where her magic is based off. It's passed down through the firstborn.
The firstborn gets the magic.
Right. And
so
then
Shakti inherited it from her mother.
And remember, there's always two sides to it, right? If there's good, there also if there's light, there must be dark.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily one's good or one's evil.
Yes.
It's just there's a different side to how things can be used.
And the evil side kind of likes Shakti because of what happened when she was a kid. So I liked how that played into the story. But just learning about the Hindu culture and mythology was really cool for me. And I think they do a really good job of educating you. Like, they're not just throwing you into this world. There's like a literal intermission that says, well, this is what this is based on. And
it's not like they give you a panel or two. They'll give you,
it's like a whole chapter.
They'll give you basically a whole chapter on the different gods and how they came to be and different parts of that. And like they come from Mother Earth or...
Like Shakti's a literal other god, right? Isn't that what she was named after?
Yes.
Right. So you have Durga Ma and Kali Ma, and those are like the two big sides. Yeah. And then you have the mean girls, they called Heck.
Right. Right.
HEK is the acronym for their names. So that's the point of the story, is using the magic to defeat Heck.
Right.
And I think seeing the Mean Girls, we got a little snippet of why they were Mean Girls, but they didn't have a redemption arc or whatever, because it's all about Shakti.
Right. And also remember, I don't really care why you become evil. If you decide to become evil, I care less.
You.
That's on you.
Right?
Yeah. And granted,
villain story over here.
their lives may have not been 100% perfect, but you can choose what comes out of that. So
yes. So I kind of liked how that wasn't focused on. It was Shakti's story, not their story.
As a knight once says, you chose poorly.
If you want to go to his villain story, that's a whole nother
That's a whole
video.
nother thing, yeah. We don't have time for that.
So what was your favorite part? I already said mine.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you on a lot of part. I like getting into the mythology part of it because I love mythology pieces of everything. And then I like the fact that they didn't just use the story to give you the backstory on the mythology. They laid it out in its own chapter so you would fully understand where this is coming from. I think the relatability of Shakti is also a really good focal point, because a lot of kids do move around, and it goes through the struggles of when you make friends and how do you make friends again and all that. And that's kind of how it was set up through there. And so that was done really well.
Yeah, and she made a good group of friends because everyone was against the Heck, basically. Right. So anyone that the Heck picked on, they kind of banded together.
Right.
And stood up to the bullying. And I love an underdog story.
Yep. And they kind of was not falling under the influence as much as everyone else, mainly because they were picked on and outcast at the part. So it didn't do that. And the art in this book is very
beautiful.
Well done. It's very colorful. It's very vibrant.
Beautiful. I love the expressions on their faces and like all the emotion. But the vibrancy of the colors is just highlight of the book.
Yeah, even like when you're having the battle, and for the lack of better term, demons, wasn't really a demon per se, but it's, even though it was dark, it's still a vibrant artwork that's done in that, which is
so colorful.
Yeah, which is done really, really well. And it goes into a really part of mythology, right? That a lot of people sitting there going, well, you've got good and bad, and it's not really about good and bad. It's, you always have to have balance in life, right? And they do a really good job of showing that balance, even in Shakti's position of being basically kind of born of two gods.
Yeah.
Because there's a fine line between them, and it kind of goes into all that too. And I know I'm talking a lot of mythology.
That's a big part of the book, though.
But it is a big part of the book. But at the same time, the book is very relatable on all fronts because of who Shakti is, and the school, and making new friends, and feeling as an outcast, and that part of the story. So, and even the two moms were great, right?
The moms were great because one of them was a witch, and then they weren't fighting about, no, we shouldn't let her have her powers, or no, we shouldn't. They were just trying to do what was best for Shakti the whole time.
Right, and I think that's an interesting part of it because that goes into a lot of families, right? Like, there's two different sides. Like, should we let her do this, or shouldn't we? And then why? Like, why should we not let them do this or do that? And so that was handled really well, I thought, also.
And then, of course, the pregnant mom had to look out for her unborn baby.
Right.
But Shakti would be a very good big sister.
Yes, I believe was. And then we
we
found out that the writer of this book.
Yeah, after I read it, I found out that the writer is a professor at VCU. So support local, pretty cool. They have some other books out that sound amazing as well if you're interested. They are local, and I always like supporting local creators.
Yeah, but we didn't know that until we read the book, because a lot of stuff that we do is we read a lot of books like this, and we don't really know necessarily who the author is or the artist or anything.
This was a total cover buy.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, basically for me, it was Shakti. It was about witches, and I'm usually in, right? That's it.
Sign me up.
So we looked up the creators after the fact, and it was like, hey, this creator is from Richmond. And it's like, okay, well that's
bonus.
That's interesting. So yeah, we had no idea that was the case.
So if you're into witchy stories, which you can read any time of year, by the way, and queer witches are even bonus, witches of color, it's got all of that. And support local, it's amazing. And it's middle grade. It's obviously accessible for adults too. I love reading middle grade.
Right. I mean, most of the stuff I read nowadays is middle grade. So yeah. I'm a big fan of middle grade stuff.
So if that's your thing, check it out. If you like this video, comment what you want us to see do next, and subscribe if you haven't already. Did I forget anything?
No, you're good.
I always feel like
thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And once again, if you're watching this and you're still here at the end, let us know other books or titles you would like for us to kind of review. And you know, when we do these, we try to kind of keep some of the spoilers out of it, but let us know. Would you like us to do more of these with some spoilers? Or are we doing this? Fine. I don't know.
How are we doing?
Yeah, let us know that.
Leave us a review on our reviews. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.